thought you were just going to play the film. Yeah.
Okay, we are going to start. This event is also going to be broadcast live. Brief introduction for those who are not familiar with Junction. I am Leah Shortino. I am the director and founder of Junction, and Junction is this public venue that you are now in. And we focus on Southeast Asia, all kind of aspects of Southeast Asia. And in these past months, we have given quite a lot of attention to Myanmar because of the particular situation in Myanmar, and we believe it's also of extreme importance for the entire region. As you know, we are holding here an exhibition of deaf young art in the anniversary of the coup to celebrate the resilience of the people of Myanmar while exposing the atrocities that are being committed. Today, we are collaborating with the Burma Spring Benefit Festival, which Hallacy will tell us more about, but basically it's a festival focusing on movies, focusing on Myanmar. And because of the recent arrest of 3 transgender women in Myanmar, of which the most famous is Gucci, and by chance, a previous exhibition, she was in one of the photographs. We had an exhibition of women role during the Spring Revolution, which is now at FCCT, and she was in one of those photographs also because she was doing performance during the demonstration. So in her, to commemorate her and also solidarity, we choose to focus on LGBT rights. Is special because Jeanne is the director of the movie, and because it focused on Aung Myo Min, who many of you know is currently the Minister of Human Rights of the National Unity Government. At the time, he was not yet a minister, but was the first time he was going back to Myanmar after more than 20 years in exile. So without further ado, I give now the word to Jeanne to introduce the festival as well as the movie. Please.
Thank you so much, Leah. We're very grateful to Junction for collaborating with us again. We've done several events here, and it's one of our favorite venues. Leah is a formidable organizer, as you know if you've come here. I'd like to just give a quickly in response to the coup when the military seized power in February 2021. And I was at that time in San Francisco, California, and a group of 6 of us volunteered to come together to initiate this festival. And the 6 people include prominent documentary filmmaker Ellen Bruno, as well as Gaetano Maeda, who himself is the curator of a very excellent international film festival, the International Buddhist Film Festival, and himself a filmmaker. Kenneth Wong, who is a prominent translator and poet of literature, who's Burmese, living in San Francisco. Greg Butinsky, who is a producer, documentary producer of our small nonprofit team, Karana Productions, which makes these films. And finally, Alan Sunake, who is a Buddhist monk in Berkeley, California, and has long ties with Myanmar. So the film festival reached well beyond our expectations. We initially thought we would put together a collection of maybe 15 films, and we had hundreds of submissions, and we ended ended up with a really remarkable collection that has never before been put together and collated as one festival, where every single film is about Burma. And it's films made both by foreign filmmakers as well as, importantly, for us especially, Myanmar filmmakers, and we have some of them with us tonight. So we're really trying to give a platform to showcase some of the emerging talent. We had such a response to the first festival where we had over 7,000 viewers that we had to extend the festival for an additional week. And we raised over 52,000 US dollars, well beyond what we imagined. And all of those proceeds, as the proceeds for this festival, will go directly to community-based organizations or Burmese NGOs that are working with direct emergency humanitarian assistance. So the funds were dispersed in Chin, Kachin, Karen, Kaya, and Shan states, as well as to support political prisoners arrested since the coup, and to support media from Myanmar, including the many freelancers who had to flee into Thailand or into ethnic controlled areas and lost all of their equipment. So please spread the word. To the catalog, hopefully Monday, called Walking Through the Darkness, about the courage of Myanmar journalists covering the crisis unfolding in their country. We also have another really gorgeous comedy. We have categories on the festival easily accessed by LGBTIQ, environment, women, human rights, Burma director. So please do share the link as widely as you can, and whatever you can donate, even if it's a small amount, it all goes 100% to the humanitarian emergency assistance. All the festival team are volunteers, and every single filmmaker in the festival, including some very prominent award-winning filmmakers, waived their screening fee and donated their film for the duration of this festival in the cause of peace in Burma. Thank you so much, and I hope you'll enjoy the film, and we'll do a discussion afterwards.
So, to watch the movie, and then we will have a discussion. Hopefully, the minister himself will join us on Zoom, but we never know until the last moment, considering how busy he is. But otherwise, we have the director, and sure she will be more than happy to answer our question and comment. So please enjoy the movie. We will start. Okay, we are going to start the discussion. We are very proud that Minister Myo is already standby. So he will be on Zoom. So give us just a few seconds to arrange the technical part, and then we will be connected with him. And so you can talk directly with him. And please, Jenny, you can come also to the front. Dear Minister, can you hear us? We cannot hear at the moment. One moment, please. No, we cannot hear at the moment. One moment.
I'll put you off for a few minutes and then you will come back.
Okay, we will be waiting patiently. In the meantime, maybe if you have any question for Jenny, while Mom try to work out this part, please go ahead. Or comments? Anyone? Okay, please, Debbie, introduce yourself.
I'm Debbie. I'm from Bangkok. This movie is so this was made out of the school here or from the 88, but these three put together, when was that? 2015. Oh, okay, thank you. I just try to understand what is this. Yeah.
She just asked what year, and I told her.
Yes, so it's before. It's actually when he came back to Myanmar, so it's now it's out again.
It felt, or like you combine it together, 2015, right, the year. But I just noticed the country you used. Now we read it on the news. It's more like Myanmar, right? So is there any specific reason that you use Burma instead?
There's a whole school of thought around the use
We
of
know that.
around the use of Burma versus Myanmar. But I've been working in Burma since 1992, and at that time there was no Myanmar. It was called Burma. And same as Aung Myo Min, Minister Aung Myo Min, when he was part of the revolutionary movement, the 88 generation, and many people of his generation continue to use Burma. But because there was a political stance regarding that when the military first changed the name of the country, some people in the refuting of the military, they continue to use Burma, and I just use it out of habit, but I believe Aung Myo Min, it's the generation he grew up in, and most people that I know of that generation, they mix, they use both interchangeably. If he's in a government meeting or a United Nations meeting, I'm sure he would use Myanmar.
We put you on the phone. If you send your phone number, we will call signal. On senior, we can call you on senior. Is it okay?
hear you, Sarah.
Thank you so much.
So I guess Leo wanted to know if you wanted to open with any remarks about the current situation and your status as the Minister of Human Rights. What are the issues you're focusing on at this moment?
Well, thank you so much for everyone joining today. It was an old documentary, but the time between when it was produced and right now, the human situation is getting worse. And, many of the situation constitutes a crime against humanity. The military would attempted to stage a coup using different forms of violence, and also committing crimes by arresting thousands of people, killing thousands of people, and also that, there's a massive destruction of the villages and also the people all across the country. So, the situation right now is a tremendous, worrisome, that we need to call for justice and action against the perpetrator. But the military, the people of Myanmar, which I admire the most, are stay joining the citizen movement and also taking different forms of political defiance. But the action by the international community is very limited. So it is very important for us to keep our motive and the spirit of the people. At the same time, we need more pressure received from the international communities. So things change a lot. For myself, in the documentary, I was a human rights activist who had hope for working for democracy and human rights. Now I'm the Minister of Human Rights, but I still have a hope and I still have an expectation of the international community. We would overthrow the military and we can bring the country back to the right, genuinely future federal democratic union which respect all human rights violation, all human rights, regardless of any diversity and background of the people. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a question from the floor now, and I will repeat the question to make sure you hear it.
Okay, we have any questions from you on the situation in Myanmar or the situation of LGBT people? Yes, please introduce yourself and
One moment, Sarah.
Hello, my name is Jeanne, and now I'm working with Encore Foundation, which we work about the sexual health of MSM and LGBT in Southeast Asia, actually in Asia Pacific. So I would like to know about the situation of the HIV/AIDS and the stigma of LGBT in Myanmar right now, as it may be kind of like more difficult due to the political situation right now. Thank you.
So, Sayan, the question was, if you could update the summary, what is the situation now confronting the LGBTQ community, and how, if at all, is the access to treatment and care for HIV being impacted by the current military coup?
Yeah, the general situation of the LGBT is seems like a lot of people, they are living under fear of facing intimidation, harassment, position for the business, for the interest of the military, not to the people. So the health system is almost correct. Many CDM health doctors and workers still refuse to join back to their position in defiance against the military. So that, the health issue, particularly the access to health, to the HIV-related medicines are very limited. And military is trying to control and manipulate the INGOs and local NGOs who are providing this kind of health system, particularly to the people living with HIV. But it's due to the limitation. Even these people, these organizations operating inside the country cannot move freely and independently. There are a lot of pressures that make great challenges for the people, especially the people who need the kind of age-related medicines and some other health issues in danger. So we want the INGOs who can provide this kind of health assistance to the LGBT people as well as the whole public, but don't give the legitimacy to the military regime who are desperately looking for the legitimacy. So help the people without giving legitimacy to the military regime who is attempted to control the big country.
So yeah, I think I'll jump in with a question here. Can you just tell us what is the status now of the national unity government on the international stage? How many countries have recognized the NUG as legitimate government? And what is the NUG's main request to the international community at this time?
Well, so far we have been, engaging with the many different governments. There's a great cooperation and engagement diplomatically and some kind of programs. But not many people, not many people has the legitimacy given to the NUG because that in many constitutions and international standards, they recognize the state, not the government. So this is a big challenge. But I would say that many governments, like the United Nations, United States, and other the member states of the EU are engaging with the NUG and treating and recognizing as the government, but not the legal legitimacy. But at the United Nations, our permanent representative representing the NUG is representing Myanmar. So this is a diplomatic channel beginning at the United Nations, and this is what we've been engaging with the people right now, and formally engaging with the different ministry, different parliaments, different government as a representative of the NUG. So first, our call is to recognize the NUG, which is the legitimate government of Myanmar, as a legitimate government. Second one, to stop the military atrocities against the people by imposing military embargo to the military. Number two, to have economic sanction, not to give any single dollars or euros to the pocket of the military. And third one, to make sure and working together with the NUG to bring criminals into the international accountable and justice system like international criminal court. So these are the three major requests we like to make of all the states
think we have, yes, please. Any question? Final question? Final round of questions? Okay. And then I have a question too.
My name is Hong. First, thank you very much, Jeanne, for a great documentary about Sayong. So I learned about his journey for returning home. So my thoughts are Sayong from being mainly in charge before the coup, from being mainly in charge of LGBT and other domestic human rights issues, to now really being directly responsible for the current human rights abuses happening in Myanmar as in the effect of the coup. I just wanted to know, first, actually, it is great to know that the NUG government is to a certain extent functioning, although virtually, and seems to be very well coordinated. Is there any channels between NUG and SAC at the moment, especially for Sayong? Is there any dialogue on between NUG human rights body and SAC in terms of like statistics of the human rights, like statistics of death and injuries as in the effect of the fighting going on over there? Thank you.
Maybe one more question, if I may.
First question I got, very clear answer is we don't have any dialogue with the criminal institution. We want these criminals into the justice systems and bring the justice back to the people who human rights has been violated and facing different forms of violence by the military. So we have no dialogue, and we don't want to have a dialogue with this. Second question, can you please summarize it?
The summary was, how has your role changed from being a leading human rights defender and civil society activist to now being a member of a government? How has that shifted the responsibility that you're bearing?
Yes, I have changed my hat from human rights activist defenders into the junior minister of human rights. By my passion, my heart, and my commitment for human rights not changed, never changed, because I truly stand on the human rights. I believe in the universality of human rights and non-discrimination principle of human rights. So my heart, my commitment, and my love for human rights has not been changed at all. But I have more new responsibilities as a minister of human rights right now. Something like, as an activist, we call for the government to respect, protect, and fulfill the obligation of the government. Now I have a duty to respect the right of everyone in our countries, regardless of any, differences. I have to, protect anyone of the country, of the people, from any form of violence. And I have a duty to fulfill all kinds of, the fundamental needs of the well-being of the people. So Ministry of Human Rights right now is collecting information and the raising the issue of human rights violation at the international and bringing justice back to the people. And also my duty is to mainstreaming human rights. For example, the issue of Rohingya people, the issue of LGBT people, the issue of women, integrated into all policies of the NUGs, all programs of the NUG, and all future constitution of the new federal democratic constitution. So my role just changed, but my duty is more responsible as a government, I'm doing my best to use my positions, to use my, Politburo of the ministry, and also to make sure that, all the future government policies are in line with the international standards. But my heart will never change.
Maybe I can conclude with two questions, my own question. The first, in the movie, you say at a certain point, telling the story, your love story, you say people fighting for democracy may not understand or don't understand this kind of love, which I think is the title of the movie. So, for the future, how to make sure that people fighting for democracy, indeed, they are inclusive of LGBT rights. This is the first question. The second is about Gucci, the transgender that has been arrested recently, 3 transgender women. Do you know anything about them, and what can be done? I know it's very difficult probably, but to reduce the risk of sexual violence for prisoners.
Did you hear that, Mr. Minister? Okay, so Mr. Minister, the first question is, in the movie, there's a quote from you stating that people in society at large in Myanmar did not understand this part of the movie. Society at large, as well as the armed resistance that we were part of, did not accept the fact that we were in love with a same-sex partner. And you said they didn't accept this kind of love. So moving forward in the human rights framework, what do you have in mind to ensure that LGBTQ rights will be inclusively enshrined in the protection of human rights in Myanmar? And the second question was regarding the recent arrest of Gigi. Do you have any update on her condition, on her status, and her safety, and what, if anything, can be done to press for the release of transgender activists?
Okay, the first question. I said that quote, people don't understand this kind of love. It was in that kind of local context. But here, I was very encouraged of some of the tremendous change in the society. Having me as an open gay man in the cabinet of National Unity Government and giving a position of human rights minister for the first time ever in Myanmar is such a breakthrough. That shows that NUG government is, understanding the inclusiveness and the power of LGBT people. So that is a real breakthrough. And even during the Spring Revolution, many of my, younger generation of courage enough to take part in the demonstration, make the LGBT flag visible. That may change the general public opinion and attitude toward the LGBTs. So people right now say that, LGBTs are part of our society. LGBTs are also very brave, person together with the freedom fighter for democracy. So that is a great change at the policy level as well as by the general public. So I have a stronger hope, and I do believe this moving that way, showing courage, confidence, and contribution to the movement will change the society to understand sexual orientation and gender identity is the identity issue. And then it should be respected, and then no discrimination based on the sexual orientation and gender identity issue anymore. So this is the thing that I feel strongly hope for the future. And as a Minister of Human Rights, I try to integrate the issue of LGBT people, as much as I could. I want to contribute my knowledge, my standpoint when we build up or transgender woman. So we recorded that cases. We try to get more information in the detentions. So I don't want to reveal much about it because of the security, but we are monitoring and we are providing some kind of practical assistance as much as we could for well-being in the country, in the thing. And also we also need to make the effort to call for her release of her. Also, all political prisoners who are also subject to that. She could be a kind of, kind of person as a LGBT beings, but also she is one of the political activists. So the release of all political prisoners, it was as a release her from the
Very much, and I want to give again my excuses for the technical problem that have occurred. If I can bother you one more moment, could you go back to Zoom for us so that we take a picture of you with all of us, and then we say goodbye to our participants. Would it be possible?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Minister, for your time, and I'm wishing you all good health and strength.
So we wait for you before closing the event. One more moment, because I think coming back. Such an honor. We don't want to miss this opportunity to acknowledge you.
Okay. No, not at all. We're sorry on this end. Thank you for your patience and sharing your time and your knowledge and your insight.
Okay, Sugar. Okay, thank you. One moment, we are going to take a picture. Maybe would you want to come here? Okay. Everyone will be right, please. Whoever wants to be in the picture. Okay. Okay, so please come here. If you want to be in the picture, you need to come to this side. Just one moment. It's quite a lot of Jerome, come. Please. Okay, please. Okay. I think you need to come closer, yeah, otherwise it's not going to, you are not going to be in the picture. Okay, you can do the three finger again. you support Junction. Thank you very much, and hope to meet you in person one day. So we are going to close. Please, on your way out, give a donation to support our advocacy activity for Myanmar and for Southeast Asia more generally. Thank you very much for coming.